From the 1011 Now streaming studio, this is 1011's Morning Pulse.
Sponsored by Murray Roofing.
Good morning. This is Craig Allison with your Morning Pulse for Thursday, March 27th. Our first story this morning happening from last night. One person is hospitalized after crashing their SUV into Antelope Creek in southeast Lincoln. First responders were sent to the area of 52nd and Roos around 9:30 after a notification alerted the 911 center about the crash. LFR arrived and said they found the SUV in Antelope Creek behind the post office near 52nd and Van Dorn. It's still unclear how serious the injuries are to the driver or how the crash even happened. Lincoln Police have not yet released those details, but we'll be sure to update you when we find out. Second story this morning, Nebraska State Patrol says one of their troopers was involved in a crash while on the shoulder of a highway. Trooper was on the side of the Highway 81 last night near the Nebraska-Kansas border. They were protecting a tow truck loading a vehicle on the side when the cruiser was hit by a van. NSP says the trooper was okay, but it's another reminder when you see emergency vehicles, obey the law, slow down, and move over. Third story in health news this morning, the multi-state measles outbreak is growing. 23 cases have been reported in Kansas, according to the state's health department. Of the cases, 20 are in people who are unvaccinated and 21 are in children. The ongoing outbreak has infected almost 400 people, also in Texas, New Mexico, and Oklahoma. And across the states, dozens of people have been hospitalized. At least one person has died, a school-aged child with no underlying conditions and not vaccinated. Thinking things back here to Nebraska, a number of shootings have the Omaha community looking for answers. Starting Tuesday morning, it started with a 15-year-old and a 20-year-old who were found shot at the same scene near 52nd and Pinckney. 15-year-old Shalimar Davis Jr. later died, and OPD is still looking for the gunman who fled the scene before units arrived. There were also two other shootings later in the day in northeast Omaha. Police believe they are linked. First was near 19th and Sprague just before 6:30 p.m., and the second was a couple hours later near 45th and Laurel. Between the two shootings, 3 people were injured, and a 6-year-old was grazed by a bullet. Wrapping things up with your final story on the lighter side, Major League Baseball is back in full swing as the Kansas City Royals are set for the first pitch of the 2025 season. Today at 3, they take on the Central Division foe Cleveland Guardians, and we'll be broadcasting a game this season as well on April 6th. Tune in to 1011 for the Royals home game against the Baltimore Orioles. Kansas City swept them in the AL wildcard last season, and that is your Morning Pulse for this Thursday morning. We'll wrap things up with a look at your 7-day forecast.
You've been listening to 1011's Morning Pulse. Watch, listen, stream on the 1011 Now app, on YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Sponsored by Murray Roofing.